Today, I'm going to talk about, is Elon Musk and Donald Trump going to let Ron Paul audit the Fed? That would be really cool. And despite some of the things that maybe my audience, I'm sure there's a mixed bag. A lot of people are really thrilled with what's going on. Some people are very critical. I think there seems to be some promising stuff in that department with Elon Musk looking into federal waste. And that would be cool if Ron Paul, one of my favorite politicians of all time, got a role in this administration, and I think we should push for it. With that being said, today is the day after the Super Bowl. I want to be a Monday morning quarterback and talk about what I thought about the halftime show, Kendrick Lamar. And then also, I have a rant to go on. I heard of a new holiday that women created called Galentine's Day. It's basically to gas up all your single girlfriends and be like, hey, instead of like finding a guy, let's just hang out and get drunk and give each other gifts. I have a lot to say about that holiday, and we've had a good ratio here. It's been like 50-50, I think, in a lot of my social media. Hopefully, I don't lose my female audience over this one, but I just feel inspired to talk about it. Hopefully, you enjoy my Galentine's Day rant and the other potentially more important information. Dreamer podcast starts now, and thank you guys for being here.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? We got Victoria Waves, Tracy. I need the fourth quarter. I need to wake up here. Get some smelling salts. I'm a little lackadaisical on the intro, but someone said, I want to see our politicians go to jail over fraud. Lofty goals there. Anna Marie, what's going on? Beatrice, we got Air. Is that Air Jordan? What's up, Mike? Appreciate you. The headline story is obviously the political one about Elon and Trump potentially letting Ron Paul audit the Fed. I'm going to get into that and some tweets that I saw. Elon looked into, I think, illegal migrants. They spent tens of millions of dollars putting them in luxury hotels, and Elon's trying to recoup that money. A lot of interesting stuff going there, but before we get into that, I want to go on a rant about Galentine's Day, then I'll talk about the Super Bowl halftime. If you don't want to hear this, I apologize. It's my show. It's Monday. I'm just going for it. I haven't been really paying attention over the last couple of years in the sense of like what everyone else is doing. I'm pretty focused on what I'm doing. But I noticed like things are popping up. Like everybody likes to play pickleball now. I like pickleball too, so I'm fine with that trend. There's like running clubs. It's basically like, do you need some friends? Do you like to run? Do you want cardio? Let's join a running club. A lot of people hate on that and they're like, dang, how lonely do you have to be to join a running club? But with me, it's like I like cardio. I like the idea of exercise and group exercise. So I like running club. That's just my prerogative. People hate on that. Some people like it. I like it. With that being said, this one I don't like, and I didn't even know about this, but I started paying attention to women like this, like just people that I follow and just people in my peripherals and such, and just like Galentine's Day. Oh, it's Galent, and I'm like, what is Galentine's? I know Valentine's Day. That's that holiday they invented, so men have to spend money on women and buy pay $500 for like a $75 dinner. It's romantic. Whatever, I get it. Valentine's Day, I've heard of it. Galentine's Day, have not heard of it. So I had to do a little research. I was like, what is this mysterious new holiday that women invented? And then I'm trying to figure it out. Like everywhere I went to get a steak with my buddy, and there's like 50 women, and I'm like, they all do it on the Friday, which like I'm like, how do they even choose that day? Because Valentine's Day, it's like 5-6 days out. And they're all out there just like giving each other gifts. Like, you're a queen. Yes, queen. Oh my gosh, you're so pretty. And then as soon as she walks away, they're like, yo, she's fat. Yeah, she should take Ozempic. And then they're like, oh my gosh, you look so good. I can't believe you haven't found your husband yet. It's like, but here's a gift, maybe here, just take a few of these. And it's like, what are you guys doing? So women have invented this holiday to make themselves feel good about being lonely on Valentine's Day because they don't have a husband or a boyfriend. So they just isolate each other, which is the worst strategy. If you're a woman and you're like, I need to find my husband, I need to find my boyfriend, why are you isolating your girlfriends? Because this is how women think. They secretly don't want them. They're jealous. That one's fat. That one, they wish they were as skinny. That one got boobs. It's like, whatever. And they're all like, instead of like, if guys were bored on Valentine's Day, guys would be like, yo, let's go out and find some chicks. Let's go out and find our girlfriend, our wife. Let's go for it. Women, they isolate each other. They isolate each other in the corner of a steak restaurant where nobody can see them, where no man can find them. It's like, If you're celebrating your loneliness, why wouldn't you go out with a bunch of dudes? Why would you go out with a bunch of women? I don't understand it. But then it's like, then they're giving each other gifts. It's just like, what? You can't get a gift from a guy, so now you got to get 15 gifts with your girlfriends. You got a Claire's gift card, Victoria's Secret, massage. Your one's telling you to take Ozempic. It's just like they've invented a holiday to make themselves feel good about being lonely on Valentine's Day, which is exactly why you're alone on Valentine's Day, because if you're that, like, no guy wants to put up with that stuff. Sorry, I'm busy. I got 20 girlfriends to hang out with. We give each other gifts. We tell each other we look good, and then we drive home with one of our friends and say she looks fat, and we say we don't even really like her in the first place, and we know why she's single, but they won't tell you to their face or bring you around guys that they could potentially mingle with and find their spouse. It's like isolate, give each other gifts, lie to each other, gas each other up, and do weird stuff that is why you're single in the first place. Crazy stuff, but my suggestion, if you're a woman on a Valentine's Day, stay away from these women and, I don't know, try to find a guy. I don't get what they're doing, but I could say a lot more. I'm gonna just keep it brief. Maybe I'll revisit that. But I was just so disturbed by the fact that women invented a holiday to gas each other up and lie to each other about why they're single and do things to make sure that they keep being single, because it's just like weird and fake. But anyway, God bless, all 10,000. Oh, there's only 2 genders now, folks. Never mind. God bless the, it really is. It's just what you want it to be at this point. But I guess America's back on the up and up. We're cutting all foreign aid to everyone except for Israel, and then anyway, we got to stick to the script. Speaking of the script, everybody was trying to say the Super Bowl was rigged. And I'm like, the odds are even. And I'm going to say this before I get into the halftime show. If you think you could predict the future and you think you know where the NFL's rigged, and I'm not saying that there isn't little ways to rig. The real way that they're rigging, if people are interested in this stuff, is the player props. There's a lot of players being caught because it's like, if this guy gets 5 rebounds over 5 rebounds, under 5 rebounds, he can just not catch rebounds or not pass the ball or not score. That's happening a lot. There's a lot of that sort of rigging. But in general, it's like people will be like, oh, I know it's scripted for the Chiefs. Bro, the odds are 50-50. I would never promote that, but it's just like, if you really thought you were sure, you could make millions of dollars because it's an easy win. But it's like everybody that pretends like they know what's going on, they don't really know, or else they could. If they know who's going to win the Super Bowl next year, then it's like you could make a fortune. But everybody, I get it. It's not that I'm saying like sports are 100% fair. It's just everybody thinks they could predict it, but they really can't. But with that being said, the halftime show. I have to preface it with this, not to be politically correct because I don't care, but I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a rap artist myself, so I'm not trying to be like Joe Budden. No disrespect to Joe Budden, but if you guys don't know, Joe Budden was a rapper. And now he basically just like runs a podcast and talks trash about other rappers, but doesn't even really make songs anymore. That's fine. I don't really care, but I'm not really trying to be that. You understand? Like my job is to make great music, do shows, not critique other rappers. So I try to stay away from that because I do have opinions, but it's like, do I want to be the guy that doesn't put out music and just talks about other people? That's not my role. With that being said, I do like Kendrick Lamar, but I found the halftime show very boring. And I'll just tell my logic before I move on, because I like Kendrick. I'm not like a hater by any means, and I like hip hop. He's talented. I think he's one of the better rappers of the last 10, 15, 20 years. He deserves what he's getting. But the halftime show, the Super Bowl show, it's for everybody, right? It's for 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds. It's for 15-year-olds watching. It's for everybody in America. Everybody in the world is watching the Super Bowl. So as a performer, whether you're a rapper, whatever, you don't always play to the same crowds. And when you're playing to a global crowd of literally everyone, you want to put on the most impressive performance. Like when Bruno Mars was singing really good and playing the drums, and you're like, how could you not like this? Everybody liked Bruno Mars because he's singing really good. His songs are really fun. And also, he's just really talented. He could play an instrument and sing at the same time. That's the type of performance that makes the whole world like you, even if they don't know who you are. What Kendrick did was a very niche performance for people that really, really like him. That includes a group that's not even myself, because I like Kendrick, and I found the performance boring, not impressive. He runs out of breath when he raps. And no disrespect, but I saw him live in West Virginia years ago after Good Kid, Mad City came out. And I was a huge Kendrick fan. He was my favorite artist in the whole world at the time. And I left that live show thinking that was terrible. And I'm not trying to be rude, but as a performer, he couldn't rap his own lyrics. I could rap his lyrics. I could rap fast. I have the breath, and like I'm a fan. I know all the lyrics. He was like stopping every 2 seconds to breathe, and like it was like it was a lazy performance. And in this one, you know, he does that a lot too. Like he never raps the full sentences that he records. Like maybe he can or doesn't have the breath work for it. So it's one of those things where I was just like, yeah, it's not even that impressive to me who likes rap and likes him. What is a 60-year-old going to think? What is somebody that doesn't like rap going to think? Like, you got to put on a performance that gains millions of new fans that never knew who you were, don't even like the genre. That type of performance, that's not going to do it. Nothing was overtly impressive. Nothing really, like, it's like, I don't know. I just felt like it wasn't the right play for a Super Bowl. He's super talented. He has the skills, I think, to make everybody like him. He's a good rapper. He's a good lyricist. But that performance, I thought personally, it was one of the worst Super Bowl performances I've ever seen. And like I said before I move on, you know, when you perform in front of different crowds, you have to be like, okay, what's going to make them like me? What's going to make them understand how great I am? And if you just do that type of performance, it's like, nah, you know, it wasn't, I don't know. If you go down Broadway Street in Nashville and you walk down the street, like this was like a month ago, a couple weeks ago, I went to Garth Brooks's bar. It's called like Friends in Low Places. There was a trio of singers there that I thought would have made a better halftime performance. Like, and they were on at 3:00, which isn't even supposed to be the good slot at Garth Brooks's bar. And they were like singing Alabama and doing harmonies, and the drummer was singing. Like, that's a good performance. There's a difference between a good studio song and a good performance, a good rapper and a good performer. You know what I'm saying? Some people are great in the studio. Some people are great on stage. I can't pretend like I thought it was a good performance when I've literally seen 10 performers like in the last 2 months that were more impressive than that and more exciting and more interesting and connected with me more, even though I'm a fan of him. So I can't imagine what people who didn't like him thought. They probably thought it was terrible. That's my 2 cents. I'm not trying to be a, music critic, especially when I rap, because then it just seems like you're salty and it's like, well, you do better. So my job is to make music, not talk about it. But that's what I thought as a consumer of the Super Bowl. Thought it was not that great. With that being said, I wanted to get into this before we get into the Doge stuff. There was a huge rumor going around, and I just want people to think about how easy it is to fall for fake news. Like and I'm not trying to use it like misinformation, disinformation, believe me, because everything else is misinformation. Like, I'm not an agent who works for the mainstream media. I'm just being honest. It's like there's so many stories in the last month that conservatives fell for because now that everybody can just say whatever online, which is, I think, a good thing, the First Amendment. Everybody in group unison falls for these hoaxes that are not true, but it's like people will walk in person and be like, did you hear Elon's running $40 million on Doge commercials? I heard this 5 times throughout the day. And I thought to myself, like, literally somebody said it to me earlier. They were like, did you hear Elon Musk is running a bunch of Doge commercials? And I said, we'll see. And the reason I said we'll see is because I saw that, but I never verified it. So I was like, I don't know if I believe that because I never saw him say that. I never saw, like if he was like, I'm running 4 commercials, then I believe it. But if other people are saying it with no sources or no proof or no video or no articles, at least to back it up with like some sort of source, then I just don't believe it. But everybody thinks because the mainstream media is lying, then the right-wing influencers I follow must be telling me the truth. And it's like, this is how a lie gets created. It's a low stakes lie because nobody cares. But most people are like, I believe that Elon Musk is going to run 4 or 5 Doge ads in the Super Bowl. And for me, I was like, I said, we'll see, because I haven't verified that. So time will tell if that even happens in the first place. There was another one like that. People thought that the pilot was trans with no proof, just off a rumor. It ended up being 2 guys and a woman. I could think of a few more. Oh, the Putin is they're gonna extradite Fauci to Putin. It doesn't even make sense. Fauci is an American politician. Putin has nothing to do with Fauci. America doesn't work with Putin at all. We're literally fighting a war against him with our deep state versus his deep state. How does that even, like, how do you read that? And like, I'm not trying to be rude because there's probably people here that like message me that, but I got like 50 messages. Dude, did you hear that Putin's extraditing Fauci for, it's like, bro, like, do you just believe whatever you read on the internet? It's like, dude, did you hear that the leader of Belarus like took a dump and his dump flew to Mars, and dude, that Mars flight is gonna like arrest Fauci and send him to Pluto? It's like, yeah, we're just going to believe everything now, right? Because the media is lying and the left's lying. So anybody right wing or truther, we just believe, right? It's like, how I see through this from day one. I'm just like, there's less than a 1% chance that this story is true, but just keep your eye out. Now that everybody's allowed to just say whatever, it's cool. I'm not asking like for Washington Post to be the only one to be able to speak, but there's so many conservatives and Republicans and Trump supporters falling for like every silly hoax. Like, don't just believe everything you read. Try to cross-reference or follow people that actually know what they're talking about. But it's whatever. Pretty low stakes stuff, but eventually it's not going to be. So pay attention. With that being said, I've been following Elon and what he's been talking about Doge. And I want to kind of tell you guys about him and Vivek a little bit, but it's like they were both in Doge and they both had a big H-1B visa controversy where they had said something. A lot of people disagreed and it got like a little weird for a while. But with that being said, I like how Elon has responded to the controversy. He was trying to fight it for a while, and it was making me not like him because I was like, dude, he's just saying all the wrong things. He's doing all the wrong things. He's like censoring people. It was a nightmare. But now he's just focused on what he's doing, where it's like, everybody's not good at everything. Like, yeah, everyone has opinions on everything. But with Elon, it's like, of course, he's good at a lot of things. But Doge is a really interesting idea. Like, let's look into the government and audit the government. Seems like he's doing a pretty good job. I mean, he found tens of millions, I think over $50 million of fraud and waste or I don't know if you'd call it fraud or waste, maybe mismanagement or a scandal, for lack of a better word, where they gave over $50 million or so. I think it was 57 million, but I have to look at the exact number. Tens of millions of dollars to illegals to stay in luxury hotels. And then people had asked Karine Jean-Pierre about this months ago. And she was like, no, that's not happening. And Elon's like, you're lying. I caught you. We're going to try to get that money back. So he's really intelligent with how he's auditing the government. And he's finding a lot of stuff. The USAID stuff is fascinating. I mean, this is something that I don't pay that much attention. I'm not a politician. I'm not in Washington. I don't hang around a bunch of losers with NGOs. And I don't care about that stuff. Obviously, I pay attention to politics, but USAID, it seemed like, they were doing an interesting job of just basically using government funds to fund propaganda all around the world. I mean, it's probably, I would guess, like an arm of the CIA or involved in the CIA, because I think that's what the CIA does. Like, they overthrow different regimes. They brainwash the world with their propaganda. And unfortunately, in my view, the propaganda used to be pro-America. Like when the CIA used to do propaganda in like the 40s and like they wanted everyone to love America and they wanted the world to love America. Now, a lot of the propaganda they're doing is anti-America, anti-European, anti-man. It's like super left-wing and corny and it's anti-God. So it's like their propaganda is not, I'm not like a fan of any propaganda, but if you're going to do propaganda around the world for America, you got to make people like America. You can't do propaganda around the world and make everybody hate our values. That's just against us. So, they're looking at all that stuff. They're seeing where all the money went. And I could guarantee that all of the journalists, they said there were like thousands of journalists that were getting paid by the USAID government things. And God knows what these people were doing. But anyway, long story short, I think Elon's doing a great job. And one of the parts that caught my eye is people are trying to promote Ron Paul to audit the Federal Reserve. And they're like, wouldn't that be a good idea? And Elon is really pushing for it. I'm trying to think. Mike Lee, I think he's a politician, I think from Utah. I'd have to look it up. Let me look up real quick. I don't want to spread misinformation. Mike Lee, politician. Oh, there's a few Mike Lees. That's the problem. Hold on. Politician. Where's this guy from? Mike Lee is a senator from Utah. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I thought so. Anyway, they're pushing for Ron Paul to audit the Fed, and Elon keeps retweeting it and saying that's a good idea. So this is my question. It's like, and this is hard for some people to follow. For others, it's pretty simple, because when it comes to Elon and Trump, I'm not asking anybody to trust them. Elon is not to be trusted. Donald Trump is not to be trusted. You could like them. You could vote for them. You could support them. You can compliment them. But I don't believe they're to be trusted. They're not your family. They're politicians. They're billionaires. You know, they have their hands tied in some cases. They're not truly free, even though it seems like they are, but they're doing a lot of good stuff. So I like them, but I don't trust them. With that being said, I think there's two sides. Either people that they hate any criticism of Elon and Donald Trump, and they freak out whenever you like do reporting that goes against them. And then there's another side that they distrust Trump and Elon so much that they hate anything about it. And they're like, it's all fake. It's all this. It's all that. It's over. We lost. America's falling apart. We're screwed. And it's like, the truth is somewhere in the middle where it's like, I think even though Donald Trump and Elon have their hands tied in a lot of categories, like with certain things, Trump is not going to follow through for you. You need to call him out. You need to look. Elon, he's done some suspect stuff where you need to pay attention. Neuralink, pay attention. Even his space companies, pay attention. You know, like just keep your eyes on the prize. Even with Doge, pay attention. But with that being said, even if their hands are tied in certain categories, I do believe that there are certain ways that they are a little more free. Like if they're not free on 20 to 30% of politics, they are free on 70%. And it does seem like Trump and Elon, in the categories that they are a little more free to do their thing on because they're compromising in other categories, they're really trying to move the Overton window in the right direction. Like Elon has annoyed me with H-1B visas and how he answer to that, but I don't forget, but I forgive. And it's like, I'm not going to hold a grudge over that. I like what he's doing. I like what he's saying. I like how he's moving the Overton window. I like how he's looking into fraud. I like how he's elevating Ron Paul. And I do believe that because Trump and Elon compromise in other categories, I do believe that they're free to push Ron Paul through. Like, I don't know that it'll for sure happen, but I'm not pessimistic. Like it could never happen. It's all a show. It's like, dude, I don't know. I mean, that's what Trump is. Like, he'll make bad deals sometimes. And this is where, once again, I disagree with both sides. Some people, everything's a great deal. Other people say, oh, Trump sucks completely. It's like he's a deal maker, but sometimes he's making deals that are messed up. He's making deals with the pharmaceutical industry. He's making deals with Larry Ellison and these like weird AI moguls that don't even like him. But he is a deal maker. He's not someone who's just sitting up there doing nothing like Joe Biden. It's like, oh, I don't know. Just tell me where to move my strings. Trump is just always making a deal. Even with Gaza, I don't like that. It's a crazy deal. And I think it's pretty evil what he's trying to do. With that being said, he is making a deal. He's like, you know what? Let's do this with it. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'll take it. You leave. I'll build. You come back. I don't like the deal, but it's like it is a deal. He's trying to do the tariffs. He's trying to force a deal. Greenland, he's just trying to get the country because it seems like Denmark doesn't want to give up Greenland, but it seems like the leader of Greenland wants to be part of America. So Trump is kind of wedging himself in that situation. Like, we're going to take Greenland. I don't think he's kidding. I don't think he's kidding that he wants to take Greenland. I think, this is my prediction, I think we'll get Greenland, even though maybe not. I don't know. NATO's like saying they're going to defend Greenland. If Greenland wants to be part of America, I think we'll get Greenland. Canada, we're not going to get, and I don't really want Canada, no offense, but I don't think he's joking. I really think he's trying to get Canada and Greenland. With that being said, I like that they're looking into all this fraud. And I'll say this, I'll read some comments at the end. I'm not asking people to agree and be like, well, politicians are doing what they're doing, so I don't care. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. But in this world, we all play a role. And I've come to peace with the fact that the role that Elon and Trump are playing, it's not my role. And there's only so much I can do. So it's like I try to have a good influence, but then it's like I can't just sit around and mope all day. Like, oh, they're not doing what I'm doing. Well, that's not the world we live in. And I'm not the president. I'm not Elon Musk. What I can do is what I have done, which is educate, inform, make people think, try to elevate our country, elevate our people, question things, do good journalism, also shift the culture in the right direction. And this is going to be a theme of this year because we need to shift the culture in the right direction. And by the right direction, I'll just be clear, like not just right and left, it's like right and wrong, good and evil, true and false. Like certain things are debatable, certain things aren't. And also political correctness needs to go away. Double standards need to go away, whether it's religion, whether it's ethnic groups, whether it's speech laws. Like a lot of these speech laws, they're all anti-Bible speech laws, you know? And it's like we talk about religious freedom and separating church from state. When they did that, they just made a new religion. They made a new religion that isn't any religion, that's worse than every religion. You know, it's like if you look at anti-LGBTQ speech laws, it goes against the Bible. If you look at anti-Semitism laws, it goes against the Bible and has biblical references as an example of anti-Semitism. Like if you talk about, oh, that's sexist, yeah, so is the Bible in certain areas. It not literally, but it's like you're saying the normal relationship and the dynamic between a male and a female is hate speech in 5 different ways, when in reality, it's what most religious scriptures in the world say. And it's stood the time for thousands of years. And this new concept of 50 genders and women are feminists and, you know, they're better at basketball. It's like, this is all brand new. And they're banking on like the whole world operated this way forever. And we're going to operate this way for 30 years. And we're better. And our new way is better. But it's really not, though. I saw some girl that I follow on Twitter. She's some libertarian chick, Maggie something. She tweeted today, you know, I just drove through Baltimore. She's like, end foreign aid immediately. I agree. It's like, look at American cities, and then we're sending money to other countries. Like, we need to fix our country. We need to actually look at the cities and be like, what's wrong? What's going on? Let's fix it. But without getting too much off track, we can shift the culture. We can't make Trump do every single thing that we want right now. We can try to influence it. We could try to influence Elon Musk to get Ron Paul to get on the Federal Reserve. And it looks like he's really open to it. And Trump, I don't think he really cares that much. Like, Trump cares about what he cares about, and then he just doesn't care about a lot of other stuff. So that's why he'll do the pharma stuff. And you're like, what's he doing? He doesn't care. Like, people are like, he really cares about me. Sort of. Definitely in some ways Trump cares, and I appreciate him, but in other ways he really doesn't. So it's like we can influence the culture, and that's what I'm focused on this year and in general. If you think about 2016, we're living in a different country for the better or worse in multiple categories. 2018, people were on the defense. Oh, I don't want to be called this. I don't want to be called that. Now, look at what's going on now. The Overton window has moved so far. Companies are getting rid of DEI. Companies are getting rid of like pronouns. Pete Buttigieg is getting rid of pronouns. Like, the pendulum is officially swinging back in the right direction. So, you know, with our influence, like, everybody has a different role to play, but I'm definitely not the pessimist, naggy all the time. Yeah, I'm not like happy with everything all the time, but it's just like, we can't just sit and moan about things that aren't changing right now. There's certain categories you can't vote your way out of. But if you could shift the culture into the right direction where enough people realize what these topics are, then that will all change. So it's like the momentum is swinging in our direction. Are you going to jump on the pendulum and push in the right direction? Or are you going to sit and just, like, that's certain people's energy. I'm a real energy guy. Some people don't like that. They're like, it's not real. Okay, you know, tell that to yourself. I don't believe it. But it's like there's a certain flow and a zen. Like, some people are real choppy. Like, some people are like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, it's like their energy is like, oh, you know, when you chill with somebody, it's like, oh man, I want to hang out with that person again. Oh man, that guy calmed me down. That guy made me feel good. That guy made me laugh. And then it's like, yo, I don't like that person. It's their energy of how they operate. So it's like the pendulum's swinging in the right direction culturally, socially, politically, whether people want to admit it or not. Are you gonna jump and be part of that, or are you gonna stop it and pretend like you're actually fixing something? This does not include, not to get misconstrued, I'm not saying to stop doing journalism. I'm not saying to stop pointing things out. I like people who do real journalism. If it's true about politicians, you got to do it. That's their job. They're supposed to serve the public. But are we going to use this window to move in the right direction, or is our energy going to be chaotic and aimless? And yeah, I don't want to. I actually do want to repeat it. So I'm not even going to say I don't want to, because I'm repeating it for a reason. But you know, usually I'm like, I don't want to be repetitive. I think I actually do want to be repetitive, because repetition is how you memorize something. It's necessary. But in general, you know, there's certain people that they're dragging people down that agree with them, where it's like, you know, did you vote for this? It's like, is that you're going to be your role for the next 4 years? You're just going to bitch at everybody who voted for Donald Trump? That's your role? If voting doesn't matter, why would you even argue. Like, it doesn't make logical sense. So it's like some people, they're going to spend this 4 years of the culture shift just burning bridges with people who literally agree with them. It's like, we want you to do journalism. We want you to call them out. We don't trust Elon Musk or Donald Trump. But we do believe that they're better leaders. Like, I don't, as a man, as an American, as a taxpayer, as a voter, as somebody that's not stupid, Trump is better than Biden. I'm not going to argue about, I'm not going to argue with a liberal for 4 years. I'm not going to argue with a libertarian for 4 years. I don't have the time or energy to argue with people over something that's so obvious to me. And if it's not obvious to you, we can move our separate ways. But it's like, even with all of Trump's downfalls and flaws, are you telling me them looking into, $50 million of waste on illegal immigrants, closing the border, actually enforcing a policy, not allowing people to exploit the anchor baby loophole that's been exploited for decades and just made us open season for the whole world to not respect our culture or assimilate, possibly elevating Ron Paul to a national conversation about audits of the federal government / Federal Reserve. Yeah, no, this isn't better. Oh, but you can't vote your way out of this foreign policy. We know. We're not saying we can, and we're trying to wake people up. But in the meantime, it's like, I'm not going to pretend like this isn't better. It is. $5 super chat from Veronica. She said, "Hey, Anomaly, you spelled my name wrong, but with the $5, I'll accept it." No, I'm just kidding. Thank you. Good morning. Unrelated, have you been watching Candace's Becoming Bridget series? What are your thoughts? I have not. I know it's really popular. I know she is basically doing reporting saying that I think Macron's wife is a transgender. Is that right? I mean, I haven't followed it that much, but that seems to be the gist. I haven't watched it. I'm sure it's interesting. I guess for me, I don't know. I haven't really thought about watching it, but you guys just let me know what you think about it. I like Candace. I support whatever she wants to do with her First Amendment, but I just haven't been tuning in. I don't know. There's certain topics that they just, don't make me want to tune in as much. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, even Candace she's really tapped into pop culture, and she's been talking about something with Blake Lively recently. And I'm not even sure. I'm not following it because I'm really bad with pop culture. I'm really bad with movies and television shows, but I'm trying to get better because I'm trying to be on Jeopardy, and to be on Jeopardy, you need to know everything. So I'm trying to up my knowledge. Maybe I should watch your documentary and learn some more, but I doubt they're going to be on Jeopardy. Does Brigitte, does Macron's wife, what's in her pants? Excuse me. What is I don't think that's going to be an answer on Jeopardy, but who knows? Someone said kind of weird. Billionaire who gets sorry, let me read it again. Kind of weird, a billionaire who gets a bunch of corporate welfare and does not pay his fair share is the one auditing the government. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think, it could be someone else doing it, but he just so happens to be doing it. That's why you have to pay attention, because there's always going to be agendas that we're not aware of, especially if he gets money from the government. So when Vivek was a part of it, he was like, the one thing we need to change, he started talking about stuff, and I was like, he sounds like he's trying to basically get revenge for not getting his drug approved, and his IPO crashing into the ground. So personally, I'm glad Vivek is out of it. I don't know. He annoys me so much. Now he's just going to every sporting event. It's like, what did you do? Elon has built rockets. Regardless of what you think about space, they go up and they go down. Elon's built rockets. He's built cars, or at least he's funded companies that build cars. Elon is interesting. He's fun to listen. What has Vivek done? Why are people just rolling out the red carpet for this guy? He literally did he did pharmaceutical business and then just inserted himself and pulled a Stacey Abrams and lost and just got famous off it. Now he's just doing nothing. It's just but yeah, no, I would definitely keep an eye on what Elon's doing, because he definitely does have bias, and I would say companies that could benefit. Someone said Elon hasn't done anything. I mean, Tesla and SpaceX, I would say objectively, are more impressive companies than a failed Alzheimer's drug that you bought from GlaxoSmithKline, but whatever. So let's see. Elon is implementing AI through the government. AI is going to be used through government, like regardless. The question is, how is it going to be used? So, as somebody that uses AI, like AI is a good research tool. Like, at this point, AI is better than Google search if you're trying to find stuff, new products, etc., information. It's not perfect, but it's better than Google. So I use AI. It's not like I'm using AI, but it's like AI is being used all over. Like every company, every major company is using AI already. The government's using AI. Everyone's using AI. The question is, how are they using it? What AI? How is it programmed? What hands are going to get into? So him bringing AI to the government is not like a news story, but it's like, how will it be used? Because right now he's using AI for auditing, which and investigation. But it makes sense to use that. Someone said this dude is an AI cuck. AI is better than Google search. Like, do you Google search? Do you use Amazon search? Then you're a Google cuck and an Amazon cuck. I understand technology. It's like, oh man, that new electric bicycle. It's like, you should use the bicycle from the 1700s. It's like, okay, AI is better. It's better for searching. I don't know what to tell you. It's a better search engine. It's good for research. It's better. It's 100 times better than Google for researching information and weaving through stuff. Immunity for soul. He said, "You're sus anomaly." In what way? Because I use AI. You probably use AI. Like if you use it, YouTube uses AI. Facebook uses AI. Your bank uses AI. Every company's using AI. You probably just don't even know what AI is. It's just like everything. It would be like you being like, I don't like technology. Okay, then get offline. I respect that, but it's like you're not in Sedona, with a bunch of hippie chicks with armpit hair doing like, meditation. You're on the internet. You're on technology. You're on a website that uses AI. So it's like if you're really against it, then just log out. I don't know what to tell you. I'm fine with that. It's just everybody, like, are people here 5 years behind? You don't know what AI is or something? I don't get it. Someone said people fighting AI are like fighting the internet, the car. 100%. AI, like it's not about completely fighting it. Unless you're just going to log out, then that's epic. Like completely leave technology. Sure, be a what are those people? I don't know why I'm blanking on it, but the Amish. Smart people are figuring out like who's controlling the AI, how are they programming it, how are they using it, what is it going to take, like what jobs are they going to take, what should be done by a human, what should be done by that. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I use it for a search engine. If people are so stupid and behind here that they're like, you're bad for using AI as a search engine instead of Google. Do you want me to just use Google? Would that make you feel better? Or DuckDuckGo? Like it's not doing me any favors. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm over this conversation. Yeah, the Amish are epic, but it's like that's the way to avoid it. If you're not going to go Amish, you can't avoid it. If you want to go Amish, that's epic. I will never make fun of you. I think that's amazing. I think the Amish are awesome. But if you're on technology, and saying you're going to avoid AI, you're literally just dumb. Like you don't realize that you're using it in some form every day. You just haven't like figured that out yet, which is fine. But don't get mad at me for it. Someone said Peter Thiel. Well, that's a different conversation. If you want to talk about Palantir and how they're using it, but if you want to talk about Palantir and Peter Thiel and his involvement in the GOP, you're going to have to say more than not liking AI, because Peter Thiel does not control artificial intelligence. He's a player in the industry, but there's like 10 other companies that also have a lot of real estate. So Palantir has a lot of government contracts, and Trump will favor Palantir because Peter Thiel, bankrolled him and JD Vance and stuff. I'm fine with you talking about that, but what I'm saying is like you got to say something of value, not just be like AI bad. Peter Thiel, he didn't invent AI. He's not the only one with it. It's like, yeah, I got you. Someone said, "Leave my man Pete out your mouth." We got some interesting people here today. All right, I want to read a comment. Something else. Someone said, I think as a father of 4, I will never watch the Super Bowl again. Kirk, what part of the Super Bowl bothered you? Let me know. Was it the game? Was it the commercials? Was it the halftime show? Was it the pregame show? I missed the whole pregame show. Did they do like the Black National Anthem or something? I didn't even I don't know. I was at a event where I wasn't able to really tap into that, but I don't care. Let's see. How do you search with AI? Well, I just use the one in Twitter. Let me give you an example. Okay, Ras. This is for people that actually want to know why I use it. So I was searching for a refrigerator that wasn't loud. My refrigerator was so loud, it was picking up on my microphone and it was pissing me off. So I went to Lowe's, and unfortunately the humans there, I was trying to get human help, but they're not helping at all. I'm like, which one's I don't know. Like, they don't know anything. No offense. I love Lowe's. I like Home Depot, all that stuff, but it's like the humans were not helping me. So I tried to go the human route. So then instead of if you Google like which is quiet, it's like Google now uses AI. So you're using AI even if you Google, but I like Grok better. So I said, give me the top 5 affordable refrigerators that are known to be quieter than this refrigerator. And I put in the refrigerator I had, and then I said, which one's quieter? And it gave me a list of 5 ones. It said the LG, refrigerator has a dual compressor and it's known to be quieter than this type of compressor. And within 5 seconds, I had a list. It looked like somebody typed it out for me, like a thorough report of every, refrigerator, how much they cost, which ones I should look for. They helped me more than the employees did. So that you're not going to find on Google as easily. But now Google uses artificial intelligence in their search because they know it's better than a search engine. So that's how I use AI. I use it you could ask, okay, for example, I talk about the anti-Semitism hate speech laws. If I wanted to find out how many countries is that in, do you know how long that would take me normally to be like, search every single European country, every single South American country, the cities, and try to figure out which ones are using the IHRA, anti-Semitism hate speech laws? With Grok, you just say, which countries have criminalized anti-Semitism, which ones throw you in jail, which ones do this, which ones do that, which ones pass the IHRA laws, how many cities it in, how many countries it in. Within 10 seconds, it gives you a comprehensive 5, 6, 7 paragraphs of everything I just asked immediately. And it knows every country it's in, it's incredible. It's really good for research. It's basically just condensing all of the internet, searching it and scanning it. And do I trust it completely? Of course not. Of course not. No, not at all. But it's a good starting point, and then you could kind of look into specifics and stuff. But no, I wouldn't say completely trust it. It was telling you that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl because it was scanning people saying that they had won before it even happened. So AI is not 100% accurate, but it's good at researching and gathering. With my, someone said I blab without saying anything. Bro, you sit here every day and complain you're a weirdo. And I literally have been talking for 3 or 4 minutes concisely about exactly why I use AI. So it's like, thank you for the money, I guess, all you guys. But my refrigerator is good. It's not loud. It worked on that. It gave me a comprehensive report that ended up being accurate. So I don't know. It saved me 20 minutes of Google searching. Someone said, I hope that AI stays neutral and not gets weaponized for propaganda. Well, that's where, Gab's CEO is. Someone said, you're right about AI. Thank you, Nagel. Of course. I mean, these people that are like, I don't use AI. It's like, you're on a website that uses it right now. But in general, yeah, the CEO of Gab, Andrew Torba, he has his own artificial intelligence, and I haven't used it maybe once a while ago, but not recently. He says that his is better or like less censored than anybody's. Like he stands on, I don't do the hate speech, or I stand by the First Amendment. So if you really want to get uncensored AI, you probably go to Gab. If you want one that's less censored than Sam Altman, I don't use that one. You go to Grok, which is the X one, which still has some kinks to it, but I think it's, I'm not going to break it down for everybody. Maybe people think this is interesting, maybe not, but a lot of it is what you make of it. So you can your mind changes it in the sense of like, you can kind of see what it does. You can kind of poke holes in it, see what it'll say. You can get it to like admit things that normally liberals wouldn't admit. And it probably doesn't even know it's admitting it. It's just going through all the data. So I find it fascinating. To me, AI image creation and AI searching, it's the most interesting thing with technology in the last like 10 years. Apple phones have gotten shittier. Everything has gotten boring. Music hit a peak with Spotify, and now it's like everything's just everywhere. Nothing has really changed dramatically with technology in the last like 10, 15 years. AI is that change, like for sure. I mean, people could go, I don't care if you go Amish, I think that's awesome. But it's like if you're on technology, AI is definitely the innovation that will change everything for the better or worse. It could go both ways, obviously. Someone said, first time, long time. You're right about AI. I use AI to increase productivity at work. There's unlimited resources and reasons to use it. Intelligent people that work online know about AI. I don't have to tell them. I'm not saying you're not, like, some people don't care about the internet that much, where it's like you might not know about it, which is totally fine. I don't think it's necessary. Like, if you're not using AI, you suck. Depends what you're doing. But if you're sitting there saying like, oh, you're a cuck if you use AI, it's like, bro, if you're not using AI in some form and you work on the internet, you're literally just not, I don't know, unless you have people that can do everything properly. Like you know, if I had somebody that could research, but if I had someone who could research, they would be using AI too, because it's just better than Google. I don't know what to tell people. It's better than Google. And I like that it's better than Google, because I don't really like Google. So it's like Google has had a dominance over search engines for 20 years. In my opinion, this is not financial advice. I can't forecast the future, but I would assume this is going to hurt Google tremendously, because a massive amount of Google's revenue, besides obviously YouTube, and they got YouTube TV, they're crushing it. But the search engine, Google dominated. Like, Google was so far above Yahoo and Bing and DuckDuckGo. It's not even close. They were winning the race by 100 miles. AI is going to close that gap tremendously. I think they're going to lose that battle. So I'm looking at it in this way. Like, I think this is going to make Google suffer with competition. Someone said Anomaly's top 3, along with Glenn Greenwald and Candace Owens. Thank you, Stay Fit with Tony. That's an interesting list. I like both of them. Glenn is really, he's always got something interesting to say. And Candace, obviously. I just haven't watched her Bridget documentary, but I don't know. It seems like if I watch the first episode, I got to watch them all. And I'm studying to be on Jeopardy, so I'm trying to gain all the knowledge in the world and, win on Jeopardy, but I'm not there yet. I think I can. I just have to, like, every day, like I have glass in my shower that I could like see through. So like every time I take a shower now, I just like play trivia games, and I'm just trying to accumulate as much knowledge as possible over the next 2 years. And then hopefully one day you'll see me on Jeopardy, and hopefully I win. Because if I go and lose, that's not that cool. It's way cooler to win. But that's what I'm doing in my spare time, if you're wondering. Also, I'm building a studio. I'm not just saying, I know like sometimes I'm like, I'm doing this and I never do it. I got a new place. I'm building a studio. I already got the background. I'm going to buy a camera. I'm really trying to invest in this and do it properly. So I got a lot going on, but also I don't have a lot going on. Immunity for soul. I'm going to give you the attention because you want it. You say you lack common sense. Can I ask you a question? If I lack common sense and you sit here and watch me every day for hours, do you lack common sense? Because I would never listen to somebody that I thought had no common sense. There's so much abundance when it comes to media. And like, it's the fact that I have 740 people here. It's amazing because there's so much competition in the world. Everything's competition, yet people want to tune into me. And that number will go to the tens of thousands or and sometimes hundreds of thousands. So it's like, I'm grateful that anyone even listens to me because there's so much competition. Why do you listen to me if there's so much competition and I'm what you think I am? I don't understand. Someone said, keep watching Jeopardy replays. Hope you win and enjoy Jeopardy. Yeah, I like trivia. I also, one of my goals, like when I was a kid, I guess I was a degenerate kid, but I always liked Texas Hold'em. So I'm debating about going to the World Series of Poker this year. I've always wanted to do it, and I think I have the resources to do it. So it's a little dicey, though. It's definitely, it's a gamble, literally. So, but I might do that. I might go to the World Series of Poker this year. Wish me luck. I'm doing side quests right now. Anomaly side quest year. Someone said, I'm in New York. I saw earlier today that Trump wants to end congestion pricing. What are your thoughts? I can't speak on it because I don't know enough about it. So I'll look into it and get back to you. But I'm not even familiar exactly with how he would do that. You know, I have to look into like what his strategy is to do that. Good luck, Anomaly. Thank you, Maggie. Appreciate it. Gambling might ruin your life. 1,000%. Yeah, I think it's bad, but it's definitely not a good habit. But I don't know. I'm okay. I think I'll be all right. But you're right. It definitely could. I'm not going to rule it out. Am I going to have any concerts this year? None planned so far, but I got to get to work. Like January was a real like moving and getting everything done. So if I want to do anything, I got to get my camera, get my setup. It's going to take me a couple more weeks. And then I'm really trying to be strategic, get somebody to help me edit stuff and just really go for it. Someone said, I almost became a professional poker player. God had different plans for me. Yeah, it's a weird profession, but I mean, there's definitely skill involved with Texas Hold'em. The top guys are definitely like mathematical geniuses, but there's also luck involved as well. That's just me personally. Since I was like 10 years old, I wanted to rap. I wanted to play poker. I like sports. Like I don't know. I just, from a young age, I saw it on television. I was like, what a cool way to live if you can make money doing all those things. So same with Jeopardy. Now that I'm older, like trivia, it's so cool. Like you know a lot of stuff and you just get to make money like playing trivia. I think that like people think Jeopardy is so not cool. They're like, Jeopardy's nerdy. What's cooler than making millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars playing trivia? It's literally the coolest thing ever. Like nerdy is cool. And I play Jeopardy. I watch Jeopardy every day. So I've been watching it every day for weeks. I play trivia every day. I'm studying world maps in order to, if you want to be on Jeopardy, you got to know every body of water. You have to know every bay, every sea, every ocean, every river. You need to know like all geography, which is hard to learn. Then you also need to know poetry, which I don't know anything. Like old composers, I know nothing about. I do good on some categories, but in order to be like, as good as James Holzhauer or like Ken Jennings or anybody good, you got to know all that stuff. So if you don't know it already, you got to learn it or else you're just never going to be on it. That's what I've come to the conclusion. Someone said, Ukraine is selling the weapons we paid for to Mexicans. Is that true? I haven't looked that up, but I wouldn't shock me. I haven't seen it, but would not shock me. Someone said, let's see. I watch you because you're authentic. I don't always agree with you, usually do, but you use facts and rarely go off on opinion. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. I try to be honest when I have an opinion, because I do have opinions, but they are obviously based on observable reality or facts. You need to know a little bit about everything. Absolutely. Someone said, Vivek gives me the heebie-jeebies. Can't put my finger on it. I'm going to end this in under an hour to keep it digestible. But yeah, he doesn't deserve what he's getting. Like he made money in pharma, but then he used the Republican primary to elevate his celebrity status, didn't win. I never believed him. And now he's just showing up everywhere. Why is he hasn't done anything. He's Stacey Abrams of the right who pretended he cried on January 6th. I mean, dude, I'm not trying to be like, if you look at this guy and believe him, I'm sorry, but you're going to get burned.
And I saw the disgrace that unfolded at the footsteps of the Capitol on January 6th. I cried. I was in tears when I watched on television that day.
Biotech entrepreneur selling his book on Fox News. I cried on January 6th. Buy my book. I cried. Oh, wait, my book is like, dude, in his book, I read the chapter before I interviewed him. It's like the antithesis of who he pretends to be now. The dude is such a slimy, grimy, obvious, like chill. And people, but he said what I wanted him to say. He wrote a book calling Trump a sore loser like Stacey Abrams and saying Mike Pence did the right thing. And then people were like, he should be vice president. Why? Why don't you want Mike Pence again? Well, he didn't have Trump's back on January 6th. Well, Vivek said he cried on January 6th and then wrote a book about it or a chapter about it. Yeah, but I like him because he said, it's like He said what you want to hear in the most authentic voice and like movements. Okay, Barack, cool. What he probably uses AI. It's like, what do Republicans want to hear? Here, ready? I did this one time because it's funny, but I'm going to do it again. So you could use AI. This is how easy it is to like just do whatever. I'm gonna do, ready? I'm gonna say, give me 10 short phrases that conservatives want to hear to make them like you. Yeah, I'm just gonna type it in. I love stuff like this. It's fun. See, AI to me, like it's like a game to me. Like I have fun playing with it. I don't play with things anymore. It's like I'm too old for that. Like, oh, let's just go play at the park. It's like whatever. But it's like AI is kind of fun. Where I'm like, I send like funny pictures to my friends. Just like I'm just messing around. Give me 10 short phrases that would make Republicans like me, even if I don't even agree with them. I want the Republicans to hear these short phrases and think I'm one of them. Make them brief and sound really appealing to conservatives. Ready? That's what I wrote in. I just read it aloud. Let's see how long it takes. Here are 10 phrases, short phrases designed to resonate with core Republican values, potentially making you appear more aligned with their views. Lower taxes, more freedom. Support our troops. Second Amendment forever. Secure our borders. Pro-life, pro-family. Shrink government, grow America. Energy independence now. Back the blue. Free markets, free people. America first. Sounds like a Vivek tweet. Make them longer. Hold on. Here's longer. We need lower taxes to keep more of our hard-earned money in our pockets for the sake of our family and communities. Our military deserves our full support. Strong defense is the backbone of a free nation. Freemason. The Second Amendment isn't just a right. It's a fundamental part of our heritage and security. We must secure our borders to protect American jobs and ensure our national sovereignty. I mean, it's like that easy to just like look up stuff, you know? I'm not saying like everyone's doing that, but it's like when he just tweets, he's like, there's only two genders. Science is real. It's like, yeah, patriot for sure. Let me see. Someone said lock her up. Lock who up? Who are you talking about? You still on the Hillary train? You're 20. You're just oh, you're saying like phrases that people would like. Lock her up. I mean, All right, I'm going to take off. I don't want to stay too long. I said I'm going to keep it under an hour. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. I'll be back soon. Like I said, give me a couple of weeks, and I'm going to have my other microphone, new backdrop, new camera. I got to get all that stuff. So I'm working on it. And by March, I should really have like a flowing, more videos, higher quality camera, you know, long form and then also short form. Like I've been doing more Instagram reels and stuff. I got a game plan. In the meantime, I'm going to be playing trivia. So anybody that has some facts, yeah, the Freemason slip up was like, yeah, I'm not a Freemason, Jesley. I'm 100% not a Freemason. I have no affiliation. But if you want to like spurg out in the comments every day and give me ad revenue, that's fine. If you want to spend your time doing something that you enjoy, you could do that too. Appreciate you guys. God bless. I'll be back soon. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, stay blessed long sleeve, God is great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. Dreamrare.com. Check out the shop to support. Everything's made in the United States. Handpicked by me. Patreon.com/raretalk for $5 a month. You can help support me, support the show. If you haven't noticed, unlike other channels, I don't work with very many sponsors, sometimes none at all. And part of the way I'm able to do that is with the dreamrare.com shop and patreon.com/raretalk. So thank you guys for keeping this show free, unimpeded, uninterrupted. I'm forever grateful. My